Shabbat Shalom. You know, I'm truly grateful that our rabbi had the foresight and the men in the community had the foresight to record all the messages of our rabbi, and so that we can hear them and continue to learn from his teachings. Because when you have a rabbi, especially like ours, who founded this community and has an understanding that goes beyond, um, I can't say beyond, is a different perspective from the other synagogues and rabbis. It's very difficult to replace that person. And he had many wonderful things to speak about today. I love the illustration of the seven gates. And I was thinking of it as he was speaking, you know, the two eyes, two nostrils, two ears, and God bless us, God bless him, only one mouth. And I was thinking of how much I have improved and grown, but still, because I have the type of personality that wants to please and always seems to do things in the wrong way, like I jump before I think. I remember if I would be upset by something, I would shoot out a text or an email or write a note. And Rabbi would say to me, you have to have, when you know yourself, you have to create a protection for yourself. That's one of the gates. Like put God in front of you to protect you. And he said, and I tell this to my daughter today, who has the same problem as me. If you have a problem and you're angry, don't answer in anger. You can write it all down, send it to yourself. Don't send it to them. Send it to yourself. Wait and read it again later, and you're just going to see you would never send what you originally want to say. And I love what, you know, his understanding of the word, as you said, tacto, tact, learning how to say something, when to say it. These are such important teachings. And and when we ask, that's the difference between a community that doesn't have religion but has a relationship with the Creator, because He is real and He is vibrant and He is living in our lives, and we can only do what we can do. He does the rest. That's the miracle of our God. He does the rest. He does things that we cannot possibly imagine doing. I have a friend who gets so discouraged because she says, I don't see things as ever changing. But she doesn't understand about that relationship with God. Nothing stays the same, and we do grow when we allow Him to help us. So, I mean, I could go through some of the things that he said, but let me hear what some of you have to say about what you heard about the message today.
Well, I usually go second, so Mauricio could speak more if he has something to say. Anyway, I just took a few things down. First of all, the idea that God is talking to you in the singular is so special. It's not, you know, in so many religions, there isn't that intense focus not only on like a lot of religions, you get lost in the collective or the bigness of it, but they don't focus on you as an individual. It's you have to almost be absorbed by you know, I think maybe Buddhism, things like that. It's not about the individual, but God, we have two things. We have the individual, which is absolutely important, as just as every feather on every bird is important to God, and the community, the individual within the community. So, you know, he's talking to you in the singular. I love that. I never, well, I never knew that, whatever.
And that's why when we're not here, we don't realize how much we're missed. Each one of us has a special role, and it's really important. And I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also just that the Chumash or the Talmud was not in the Ark, which makes a big difference.
None of the later writings were, only the 10.
It doesn't mean obviously they're important, but they're important, and you see how they connect to the Ten Commandments.
Right.
But you can't change that. And it's interesting. It's not, God could do anything. If he wanted to write a million words on stone in some way he could. So
Right.
there's no excuse for that. But that's just interesting
Yeah.
what's in the ark. And the last thing that really is interesting to me, more than interesting, but really important, whenever I think of what forgiveness and what our actions are to be, when we hurt somebody, first impulse is to go to them and try and work it out. But here, Rabbi was talking about go to ourself. And so much of what I do, first of all, you can't always go to the person because they're not around anymore, whatever.
Right.
But we have to go to ourselves. And my tendency, okay, first of all, even when I do go to myself, takes me a long time and still isn't completed to forgive myself
Right.
and to say I really did wrong and to forgive myself. But it's almost like I always say this as a joke, but I'm almost a Catholic in the sense that I keep beating myself about it, and it's very hard for me to understand what it means is give it to God and you start again.
Right.
But I'm learning that. I'm learning that. Anyway, that's what I have to say.
Yeah, because we also tend to blame others for something that make us feel bad. But then we can't change anyone else. We can only change ourselves.
Right.
So if we can't change the situation or the person, we have to change within it.
Mm.
And God helps us to do that. And I like what he said about the mirage in the desert. Sometimes we think we see something, but it's not really what we're seeing. We don't always understand the full picture.
Right.
Rabbi used to say there's three people involved in something. There's the what you see as the truth, was the other person sees as the truth, and then there's the truth, as God sees it. So it's a long process, and it's like peeling an onion. It doesn't happen overnight. Took
Right.
40 years in the desert till they entered the promised land to get rid of all that stuff that they had brought from Egypt, and we still brought it into the land. So it's very, very, our lives on this planet it's a real challenge. I can't imagine going through it without God, how difficult it is. And sometimes we have to admit, I am a fool. I'm a fool for, thinking certain things. And and we have to be so careful because even if we're not gossiping, even if we care about the other person and we're speaking to a third person about it, that third person then develops an understanding, a picture of the person that you're speaking about. And then when they meet them, they have already formulated an opinion. So it's such a difficult thing because we want the best for others, but it has to start with us. It always starts with us. Mauricio, what did you get from this?
Sorry, Brian had his hand up.
Oh, did you, Brian? Did you want
Yeah.
to say something?
You see me now?
I see you. All I see is a $5 bill and a person with
Yeah,
glasses.
I'm on the I'm on the 9-inch tablet. Can't get anything off my computer. I can't even get into the hospital's Wi-Fi, and my Wi-Fi is not working here. My stuff is not working. I
Oh
just got,
boy. And whose fault is it?
I don't know, because I tried to go on the link and it wasn't there.
All right. Oh boy. So
Brian,
did
is
you
that
want
what
to
you
say
wanted to
something?
say?
Did you
Oh,
want to say something about the message?
Shoftim, I asked the rabbi downstairs, "Are you on Shoftim?" Yeah, yeah, we're on. They're in line with us.
Good. Well, we're in line with them.
why? What did you ask? Sorry, Brian. What did
And
you
he
ask to?
wanted to know if they were on Shoftim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's where we get it from because they're the ones who created the divisions. They added all the commas and the periods and the exclamation marks and the question marks. It was one long Torah. It had I don't know how they did it. Sometimes the divisions are to me are confusing, but anyway, but I'm glad you could show them, Brian, that you knew what Torah portion is. Because when I ask people when I go on Shabbat, most people don't know. So you're way ahead. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Well, regarding the message, there's so many topics that Rabbi talk.
Yes,
Uh, but one of the things that I totally agree with him, because I've been recently reading some articles, I would say, about this portion, but everybody is trying to justify the Chevalpe, okay?
right,
And so they said, oh, okay, the Torah refers that if you don't follow the Torah, then also includes the rabbinic Sanhedrin and also the Shevalpeh. But if we go historically, both of them were made up not at the time of Moses. Okay. Yeah, they were just judges and but the Sanhedrin, as we know today, doesn't exist at the moment of Moses.
right,
Okay.
right,
They have a prince for every tribe. They
right,
have that. Remember that that to make easier the burden of Moses, they chose some people to judge over 10, over 100, over 1,000,
right.
etc.
And it
And that's
started.
what,
It also
yeah,
started with Yitro.
with Yitro, yes.
Yeah.
So, um, but the Sanhedrin, as we know today, as rabbinic people, they appear later. I mean, by the time of Babylon, probably.
Yes,
So
yes, and it was not a bad thing that they were trying to do because here we were kicked out of our land, so they wanted to find a way to keep our people together. But then it went too far.
yes,
Yes,
they try to put some rules according to what they thought, and the problem is that it's very important what the Torah says in this portion. Well, we don't have to add something to our Torah,
exactly.
and
Or take away,
yeah,
take away.
so they try to make explanations, and I believe in certain way that the the God sometimes do not put clear, like white and black, um, things in the Torah. Okay, sometimes
Right,
is because of this passage when it says uh, you must pursue the justice. So because uh, the father of Pablo's girlfriend, he is a judge here in Salvador.
wow.
So, um, and one day I was talking with him about this portion, okay?
Oh, wow.
And I said to him, oh, it's so difficult to be judge. And I admire you because, when you are in a position to decide the future of a person, you have a big responsibility under your shoulder.
Right,
So, uh, and I said, I would like one day that in the court of El Salvador is written, justice, justice you must pursue. Because, and he told me, yeah, that's true, because uh, sometimes the law cannot decide if it's true or is good or is bad. What was the intention at the end of that person?
right,
And he told me that he faced many different uh, judgments in which, according to the law, the sentence will be this, but when he goes and go deeper, he looks that, yeah, he was breaking one law, but his rights, or he did it to survive, for example. Okay.
Right.
So in exactly this is why probably the Torah is not always white and black, because we need to understand what happened before. Okay.
Right. Which is
And
why
what
each,
is
which is
yeah.
why each case has to be judged on its own merit instead of precedent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is it's something that for me, um the Sanhedrin wanted supposedly to correct, to say, oh, this is about this and that and things like that, and try to clarify many things that supposedly the Torah wants to give the interpretation, but sometimes you just don't have any interpretation because you have to live at that moment to at X circumstance to look what happened. Okay, and that is something that is very important to all of us. Nothing is black and white.
Right.
So uh, and this is something that is really that I love from the Torah. Uh, why pursue? Because the justice is nothing that you can say, oh, I already get it. I already get the justice. No, every day, every moment, every minute, you need to look for the for the
Yeah.
for the justice.
Pursue is to run after it, to go and
Yeah,
try to find it, to dig deep.
yes.
Yeah.
It's not that I have, for example, I don't know, I get an apple and I can say, oh, this is the apple. No, it's like going every day and look for the apple. Okay. So this is like a motivation of life. Okay. And also uh, in Spanish, there's a palindrome with the word bribe. In Spanish, the word is soborno. Okay. So when you say sobornos and you you read from left to right, it says soborno bribes, sobornos. But when you read it from right to left,
Yeah.
it says nos robas. Okay.
No.
So yeah, it thief, it rob
Right. It
us.
robs
Okay.
us. Yes.
Yeah. So that is it's exactly what is the word bribe. Okay. Uh and there is not only, you know, something that I have learned in many years is, for example, remember that Abraham did not accept uh, a, a gift from the king of Sodom.
Right.
Okay. Why? Because that was a bribery. Okay. Okay. He didn't accept the money. And from the front also, he didn't want to accept it. Okay. Yeah. From Ephron, who said, "Oh, please sell me uh the tomb for Sarai," and he said, "Oh, okay, what is for you? Take it, take the land." And he said, "No, I won't."
No.
Okay, and so sometimes it's very hard to understand in which moments we can accept a gift. Okay,
Right.
and the gift is not only money. I mean, there's so many things that we can say, oh, that's a gift. For example, oh, how beautiful you look. Okay. Uh, you know, that is a kind of to get you around the net of some people. Okay.
Right.
When
In
they
English,
told you, oh, this is Mauricio, everybody, please give up applause and you
yeah.
know, greet him and things like that.
English, it's
No,
called buttering up.
yeah. So do not get blind, because that is the problem with the bribery. Get you blind. Okay. You see the problem, and then you cannot get justice, because right now your eyes are twisted, because what you hear, what you feel, what you smell, what you taste. Okay. That is, it is related to what the rabbi said about the seven uh, um, how do you
Gates.
say that, holes in the
Well, we
body.
call them
Okay.
gates. Gates.
Yeah, the
Gateway.
gates.
The
Yeah.
gateway. Yeah.
Yeah, because the bribery can come from through the eyes, through the ears, through the smell, or through the tongue, or to the mouth. Okay. um and also, that he said today, that we need to stand up, to look for the justice, to say, hey, stop, do not do that. And sometimes this is very difficult in a world that today, for example, if you said to a person, hey, I'm not agreed that you can marry with a girl of 9 years old because Mahoma wanted to do it, so they call me Islamophobic. Okay.
Right. Right.
And if I said, no, it's not right, for example, um, to 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 do not to let the kids do whatever they want at home and destroy everything, not have rules, not have behavior,
Right.
then they call me that I'm an abuser. So things like that, they twist the truth. Okay. So it's important to all of us to stand up, to say, no, that is not right. For example, yesterday, there were, I will say, there's a company who is getting a permission to make certain thing in the port. Okay. So for that, they need to to uh, to get personnel well trained. Okay. So we coordinate the training for those people. And at the end, one person did not go to the training, okay, session. And that person, that person already paid for the training, okay, but he didn't go. At the end, the owner of the company came to the person and he said, oh, I already paid, so give me the training diploma. Okay. And he said, and then they called me. Okay. Look, we have a situation here. What can we do? And this is something, you know, and I told to him, okay, if you want reimbursement, we can give the reimbursement, but we cannot grant any diploma to a person who didn't go.
Did he say
Okay.
why he didn't go?
No, he didn't say why. Okay. It's just a change of last time. Okay. So, uh, you know, things like that commonly happening. And sometimes, is that you have to stand up. And people, sometimes they try to convince you with a smile, with, with a crying, for example. The person start to cry, oh no, I will not go and have a job. Please help me, help me. I have to say, sorry, take the training. Okay. That's it. Okay. And but the point is that also, that I do, and it's good for all of us, is to give justice, accord, to be protected, but something else, okay, bigger than you. For example, in my case, I can say the company do not allow me to do, the policy is not that to give training diplomas to person, it's not Mauricio,
Right.
okay? And also it's the same with the Torah, okay? I can say it's not Mauricio who is telling you that gay marriage is good, for example.
Right.
No, the Torah says that is not allowed. I can see you, I can hold you, I can bless you, but according to the Torah, it's not good. So I'm sorry. Okay. So that is something that every day we have to learn about to behave, and also the justice. Our culture use the Roman justice. Okay, this is the the main uh, source of justice in the world today. And what the Roman justice did? Well, they crucify an innocent person, okay, to Yeshua, right? And according to the Torah, if we go to what is written and we read today, Yeshua, if will be truth that he was an idolater or a person who denies, he must be stoned. But no
Right.
wanted to stone him.
Yeah.
Okay, so uh, that is what the Roman justice is. What the people says. Okay, who wants to be destroyed? Okay, Yeshua or the other man, I can remember his name, Barabbas in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
So who is the one? Everybody said, oh, Barabbas, because he's a fighter. Okay, so that is the Roman what people want. Okay,
Right.
okay, that's it.
Yeah. Well, he was killed because he was a political agitator. He wasn't,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't because of that. Because they said, again, the mouth, they said that he was declaring himself to be a king. And if this would threaten the Roman Empire. So
Mhm.
yeah, they killed him for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
But what Peggy, I was telling you yesterday, well, a few days ago, whatever, my sister's in town from Japan and doesn't think and it was not a Torah, but observant woman. And we were talking about all sorts of things. And then we started to talk about justice and capital punishment. And she tried to make me, I cannot commit to a statement when a government and our law system is corrupt and so many people are falsely put to death. It's just the truth, unfortunately. And I said, listen, I agree in principle with the idea of capital punishment, but I understand in the way the world is set up now, there are lists of people who've been killed falsely or because of racism or anti-Semitism, whatever. There have been false deaths. So we don't have a Torah-based criminal law system. So, as I said, you can get caught up in something and miss the point. I said, listen, I believe what the Torah says about capital punishment, but until the law system is in line with that, how could I would, how could we put somebody to death who's innocent? Imagine your own brother or sister. Anyway, I just wanted to make the point that justice without the Torah or God is not justice. We can't enact justice when we don't even have a Torah-based law system.
Yeah, it's very difficult because again, it says in the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. So these were again to be impartial and righteous and supposedly live within a justice system that is just, but we
Yeah.
don't have that. And what's happened by throwing out the Torah, by throwing out God's words in every system in the world right now, we've basically opened the Pandora's box. Anything goes. Like I was discussing with someone about, the that terrible thing that happened in, I think it was Minnesota last week, where a transgender went to a Catholic school and shot a bunch of,
Oh, it was a transgender.
it was a transgender.
Wow, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. And the person was, so the person said, the problem is guns. They got to get rid of the guns. And that has nothing to do with it. Because, I mean, if I remember Rabbi used to say, well, in Spain, they don't have guns and people kill with a knife. The problem isn't the instrument that's used. The problem is the heart of people. And when you take God out of the equation, there are no answers. We cannot come up with
Yeah,
proper,
well, that's the thing.
yeah. So it's
I
very,
mean, you still want to enforce justice, but you cannot always do it to the letter. It's just, you know, it's just impossible.
yeah. I was thinking even Mauricio of the system that you have in El Salvador right now, which is wonderful. I mean, the new president literally took thousands and thousands of criminals who did horrible things off the street. But look what they have to pay for to keep all these people working, the soldiers who are working there, the policemen, take honestly, if there was a justice system that was Torah based, all those people would have been killed. It sounds terrible, but that's what God says. God said, put
You
them.
know, today we have 1,000 days without murdering.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
1,000 days
we-
without,
Without murders,
without
sorry,
murders.
1,000?
murder, without people being murdered.
1,000
Oh,
days without
okay,
murders.
okay.
So, you know, there are people who criticize, and today the president decided to put like education minister to a woman who is captain and doctor. Okay, she the first thing she come to do is that directors go to the entrance of the uh, schools, and the professors goes to the entrance of the school to greet and to say hello, good morning to all the kids. Okay, this is so impressive because and at the end right now they put a system of the merits. Okay, if a person who has 16 demerits in 1 year, they will be moved to a military school. Okay, so what is that merit? For example, when the professor goes into the room and he said good morning and nobody answers, okay, that's one demerit. Okay, and if you go with long hair, like, then you are at school, you need to be clean, your nails have to be clean, no painting on the things like that. Yeah, that is something that people has been like, oh, why are he's doing this? But for me, I really understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to give principles of life to
Right.
kids,
Right.
and that is it's something good. The problem is that, for example, the leftist person in the country say, oh, we need to protest against that.
Yeah.
Against what? To say good morning, teacher, good
Yeah,
morning, dad. you know there's so many kids that sometimes enters to my home and they are like a cows. Okay,
Yeah.
they enter
Yeah.
in hello, good morning, good day,
Yeah.
nothing. Okay,
Yeah.
so and that is happening, for example, in our jobs. The new generations in our jobs, it's very hard because, for example, you give an order. Okay, then there is no answer. So, did you get what I said?
Yes.
Okay. Can you understand that my urgency is about?
Right.
So, uh, and that is something that we need to deal and cost a lot of money to the companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So things easy like to say good morning, to good day, honor your father and your mother, things like that are principles, okay,
Yes.
that really help the societies go and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. It begins with teaching our kids, make your bed in the morning, help with the chores, and they say that children who have learned to do chores at home grow up much more productive and respectful, and they are part of something. And when they don't do it, you see something there? Somebody's climbing up your mango tree?
Me?
No,
Oh,
I was no, because I saw Mauricio look away, and I was wondering if some.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a wonderful message, and this was a wonderful discussion. May we continue to be strong in seeking justice, pursuing justice, and always remember that the change has to happen with us. I always think of that the story of when the three messengers came to Abraham to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, and Abraham said, if negotiated with God, if there are 50 righteous men, if there are 40 righteous men, 30, 25, 10, whatever, if there will you save this wicked city? It's amazing to me. He was negotiating for God to save a wicked city, and God said yes, but they couldn't find one righteous person. Even Lot himself was not considered a righteous man. He had to be taken out by the angels. He didn't want to leave, and we saw what happened. So may we as people learn, check our hearts, like Rabbi said, search me, O God, especially before the high holidays. Search me, O God, show me the things that I need to change within me. We can change ourselves, and if we are righteous in our lives, may God find the heart to save our cities, to save our communities, our families. It begins with each one of us.
Mm.
So I want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your Shabbat. Enjoy the hot weather, Mauricio. And with us, enjoy the rain and the cold. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And when we hear Vayelech, I think, Mauricio, I think it's your turn, no? Okay, wonderful. I look forward to your message. Have a wonderful day, everybody. God bless you.
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom.
shalom.
Shalom, shalom.